Good morning, Mr. Charles. Happy hump day. How are you?
Oh, doing good. I see that you kept Terry on the $100 bill. Thanks a lot. You don't want to have my face out there.
Did I put Terry on there? Oh
Yeah,
my God. I
yeah. I know
apologize
that
about
wasn't
that.
no, it was a mistake. We know that wasn't a
It
mistake.
probably was a mistake on my part. I don't know what I was thinking right there. I can change that though, but
No, no, no. It's okay.
I think
Terry's better looking, I guess.
he probably is.
Yeah.
Indeed. I think that's a unanimous at this point. There's no longer any debate in that respect.
No
I
more
don't know how
debate.
I don't know how I screwed that up. You get a little older, sometimes the brain doesn't work so well, right? That's probably what's going on there.
Yep.
Yesterday was one of those days at Parks, I had to try hard not to find winning tickets in that. I think I had the winner in my picks in every single race, but only managed to put together one winning ticket. I should have just did pick threes and pick fours all the way down, but it's the way it goes sometimes. It's horse racing. We'll get back to the winner's circle today at Gulfstream Park. But before we do that, last night, Julie and Sean had on Raylu Gutierrez, talked about a little bit about Gulfstream Park and some of the observations he's seen at Gulfstream Park and the biases that are in play there right now. So you might want to, if you want to know a little bit about what's happening at Gulfstream Park and the kind of horses that are winning, check in with the show last night. And then, of course, tonight, as always, we have on another guest at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have on gentlemen. Actually, I'll be doing a little bit of work with them today, too. Romero Mirage. They're going to come on and talk a little bit about the future of horse racing, and some of which he does a lot of the like cryptocurrency and stuff like that. And the blockchain and all that kind of stuff and how that relates to horse racing. So should be an interesting show there. I'm going to head over and on Twitter, I'll post it a little bit later on today. Sean will be keeping you up to speed at Horse Race, the number 2 day on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of our social sites. So make sure you tune into that. We'll be talking on a Twitter show tonight about the future of horse racing, some handicapping angles, a little bit about the digital horse racing. So all that sort of stuff will be going on tonight. So make sure you check that out. Again, best way to make sure you don't miss anything is to hit the subscribe button while you're here on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social media sites so you don't miss any of the fantastic action, including some of the videos we've been putting up from Fairgrounds, Gulfstream, and soon to be Tampa Bay, if my daily life will just let me go. But one event after another, some surprise things popping up, which kind of, you got to put those things first, right, Charles?
That's right.
Indeed. Thank you, Carlos Tapia, for the thumbs up. If on Facebook, if like Carlos, you like what you see today, please let us know with the thumbs up on Facebook and on YouTube. If you have any suggestions, any picks, anything you like today, whether it's at Gulfstream Park or any of the tracks running anywhere in the world today, let us know in the comment section as well. If you have any questions for us, hit us up in the comment section and just let us know what's on your mind today. Certainly, we're going to let you know what we think of the races at Gulfstream Park, starting in race 1, which is a 1 mile, 70-yard affair on that all-weather, apparently very quiet Tapita, because as a couple jockeys have told us, most notably Chantel Sutherland, you cannot hear as a jockey what's going on the Tapita. So that's got to be an interesting phenomenon. And then at 1 mile and 70 yards, Charles, for this maiden claiming 12,500 race with a purse of 21 grand. The typical winner at 1 mile and 70 on the all-weather doesn't really favor any particular running style, 50-50 between horses that like to be up in the front or come from off the pace. Only 10% have gone wire to wire. There's a little bit of a rail bias. Everything else plays kind of fair, Charles, although speed's really not an issue. Our simulator, where we do 1,000 races, both for speed figures to get a sense of what true odds might look like relative to the morning line odds. We also do 1,000 for the early pace to see who's going to be where at the quarter-mile marker. Charles, what sort of information can you glean from today's simulations?
Well, it looks like when it comes to simulation speed to the first quarter hole, it looks like the 3, it's basically 60% chance of having the lead at the quarter pole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this horse definitely does have a lot of speed, so I see that probably happening. The 9 might have something to say with it a little bit, but he's out there on the outside post, so he's going to have to do a lot more work than the 3. And then when it comes to simulation odds, well, the 4 is an overlay. We got just under even money for our simulation odds, morning line says 3-1. So I think you're looking at probably most likely closer to 2-1, but still be a nice overlay overall. And that's about it when it comes to simulation odds.
And Carlos Tapia telling us right out of the box, go with the 2-horse, Ponte Pride at Gulfstream Park. Something neither one of us have in our picks. So maybe that's something we should think about adjusting there, Mr. Charles. Along with our simulations, we also like to take a look at what the race shape might look like. And with that race shape, we have what we call the way to the winner's circle. It is the running style of the horses. Here you can see in race number 1, first of all, the E horses are ones that want to get to the lead and try to take them from gate to wire. EPs can go gate to wire or sit right off the leaders. Your P types like to sit right behind the lead and then make their move at the end. PCs, pressure closers, can be very versatile. They can run anywhere on the board. And then C are your closers. In this particular spot, because it is maiden, we have some arrows, down arrows, suggesting going down in class, flat arrows, running at the same level. Don't have any that are moving up in class. But what we see here, Charles, is a lot of horses that want to come from off the pace, which could open it up for some of these horses up in here that have some early speed. The 3 horse, as a matter of fact, has a 10-point advantage through the first quarter-mile marker. So that horse could be giddy up and go, come catch me if you can. There's only 10% go wire to wire, but maybe that one has a shot.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look at his past, he's pretty much been in that same position, and he's somehow he stops right at the end. So that's why I'm going with the 4 here. I really like the 4 a lot here. I think this race sets it up for this horse. This horse ran 3rd the last 3 times. So he's getting better. He's improving. He's figuring it out. He's dropping in class today, like you indicated. This is his 2nd start after a layoff. And so I think this horse is ready for the win. My second choice here is the 8. This horse ran 2nd the last 2 times. This is 2nd time Lasix use, which I think is a good angle. And you got a hot trainer for the last 14 days on this. And then I'm going to go with the 3, the speed horse. I think he'll be out there winging it like it says. But then I think they'll catch him at the end. He drops in class. He does get IRAD, which is a plus. And then my price horse here is the 9. This is another horse that drops in class today. The trainer gets 20% when he uses Lasix for the 2nd time. Not a bad angle. But overall, I think it's the 4's race to lose.
And you got a bunch of bets going on right here, right off the get-go. We have a $100 budget that we use to go throughout the entirety of the card to make our selections, just as if we're going to the track on a $100 budget. So if you go with 200, 300, 500, whatever it is, just keep that in mind. We're using just one Benjamin Franklin. So how are you going to start to spend your Benny?
Well, I mean, I'm going to start the pick 5 off because I got a single here and a single in the 2nd race. So I'll take advantage of that and spread out on the other races. I'll take my top 4 picks in the 3rd leg, top 3 picks in the 4th leg, and then my top 4 picks in the final 5th leg. And then I'm going to do a $20 win ticket on the 4 and a $10 daily double 4 to the 5.
Geez, you spent almost all of your stash right off the get-go. In race number 1, for me, I agree. I like the 4, Doc Ballard. Top last race speed figure, was beaten as the favorite, but just in the neck last time out. And if you look through the past performance resume, it says that the 2nd race off the bench could be as good or better. That's been its record so far. Number 8, Heart Boy. This one's going to be forwardly placed, has some of the most late pace in the field. Should get a good trip in here. Number 1, Artico, consistent performer. This one's running at the lowest level to date. Has some nice maintenance workouts between races, so it should be sharp. And then was a tough call between the 3 and a 2 for me. I went with the 3 horse in here. Irad's jumping on this horse, should be aggressive out of the gate, has that early speed advantage over everybody else. And I think just going through this card today, it might be one of those days again where it's Irad in the winner's circle.
He has a lot of live mounts. You're right.
He does. It's going to be, for me, a 50-cent try, 4-8 over to 148 with the 1, 3, 4, 7, 8s. That's how we're going to start off race number 1. For race number 2, which is next up on the card, they are going to run 1 mile. That one is on the regular dirt track. 1 mile on the dirt track at Gulfstream Park down there in South Florida. If you haven't been there, we were there not too long ago for the Holy Bull. It's a nice track. If you like to do a little bit of shopping, some nice shopping malls right there. The track, you just walk right in, you're right on the bull ring, and then you're right there at the finish line. They got a lot of good food opportunities. It's a heck of a good place to visit. Put it on your list if you're a horse player. But anyway, 1 mile, the early speed bias is in play here. 29% of all horses go wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7 are fair, and 8 and out get a little bit of a bonus. Charles, speed does matter here, so pay attention to that 5 horse.
Yes, and he is going to be on the lead. It's his race to lose.
It's going to be Nature Boy. Was it Ric Flair, right?
Ric Flair.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Nature Boy?
Nature Boy.
Because I said so. Woo! Go ahead, Charles. Anyway.
So anyway, he's got a 96% chance of having the lead, and I'm just going to go out and say it. He's got a 100% chance of having the lead. The simulation odds, the 1 horse is slightly over even money for us, but the morning line says slightly over 3-1, which is not bad. And then the 5 itself is just under 2-1 odds for simulation odds, but the morning line says 3-1. So you might get that 2-1 right in that ballpark. So look out for that.
Our good friend Melvin Torres says today, pay attention to his pick 5 in race number 1. He's going to go with the 1 and the 3. Race 2, he's not so confident on that 5 as Charles. He's got the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Race number 3, the 3, 6, and 7. Race 4, the 2, 4, and 5. And on the back end, he does have a single in there. Good morning, Cartel, to you as well. Good to see you again. All right, Charles, let's take a look at the way to the winner's circle for race number 2. We don't have any scratches in here. We do have a very well-balanced race. You have 2 horses in the front, 2 horses in the middle, 2 horses in the back. Indeed, the 5 horse is the one with all the blazing speed. He has a 7-point lead through the first quarter mile. And so for every 5 points is equate to about 1 length. We learned that from Craig Milkowski from Time for Him USA. And then he's got a 5-point lead through the half mile. So clearly this is the one they're going to have to pass. The 6 horse, though, right behind him, also has some of the best late pace and the best combination of early speed and late speed. The 2 horse, which should be in the mix too, has the best late pace. So I think this could be a very competitive race, likely to find your winner in one of those 3. Charles, you already mentioned that you're going to single the 5. Give us all the reasons why.
Well, the 5 is the speed of the speed. He drops in class today, which is a major thing. Trainer gets 23% when he drops him down 2 levels or more, which is what you have here today. And you get IRAD again on this horse.
Yeah, he's going to have he might be another 7 days and 7 times to the winner's circle today.
Yeah, he just was on every live horse there was. So I just see that horse in the winner's circle today. The 2 horse is my second choice here. I think this one has the best tactical speed. I think he could sit second or third all the way around. Trainer gets 24% when he rests them 46 plus days. You got a hot jockey trainer combo for the last 14 days on this. So that horse has an excellent shot at being at least second, I think. And then the 6 horse is my third choice here. Drops in class. Trainer gets 21% when they drop him down 2 levels or more. Does have some speed. So I don't see him too far off of it overall. But like I said, still got to catch that 5. And then my price horse is the 3 horse. Ran third last time out. Trainer gets 25% first after a claim, which is a great angle.
Mm-hmm. So you spent the rest of your budget right here?
No.
All right.
But pretty close. Another $20 to win on the 5 horse. I did an ice cold $4 exacta on the 5-2.
Straight up 5-2. I agree with you, Charles. Those are the 2 horses. I just reversed the order. I have the 2 horse Allagash run as the top one. Run the top last race speed. You're at least tied for it last time in the maiden win. It was the same race as it ran in the debut. So you're going to get a consistent performance out of the 2. Looking for maybe a little bit of improvement in the 3rd career race. Number 5, Nature Boy. I think it's Nature Boy. Anyway, I can't remember the right name. Does have that early pace advantage through the first half a mile. And I think you're going to see IRAD be really aggressive with this one out of the gate. And then, of course, very aggressive down the lane to make sure you can't pass him. But one thing about Irad, I do joke about a lot about his aggressive riding, but you don't see him really get involved in situations where people end up getting knocked off of horses. He's very professional in that regard. Number 6, Astral Weeks has the top early pace, late pace combination in the field, so should run a very complete race. And then finally, I agree with you on that back end. The Twin Sneakers has the most back class. It was a very tough call for me over Drum and Drummer, but the one horse on the dirt really hasn't run very well. He's done better on the turf and on the all-weather, so I'll go with the 3. I'm going to do a pick 4. I agree, Charles. The 2 horses in here that pick 4, excuse me, that should be the most competitive for the W are the 5 and the 2. So I'm going to start with the 2-5, with the 3-6-7, the 2-3-4, and the 4, 5, and 7 for my pick 4 in race number 2. We'll step forward to race number 3, where they are going to run 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather track. We have a couple of these 5.5 furlongers on the all-weather track today, Charles. This one's a maiden claiming $20,000 race for a purse of $28,000. So pay attention to race 3 to see how they run. But so far, the 5.5 on the synthetic has favored early speed. A good number, 27%, have gone wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7, they're fair. You get a little tiny bump if you wear the 8 or higher, Charles. Again, a couple of scratches in here might have impacted the early pace on here because the 1 and 2 out, it looked like they were going to contribute. A lot of that's probably going to go to the 5 now.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. The 5 was probably going to be your leader anyway, no matter what. But yeah, with those other ones out, it really gives it to him overall. But the 3 might have something to say with that. The 5's got a 40% chance of having the lead, but the 3 has got about a 26% chance of getting the lead at the quarter pole. And then when it comes to simulation odds, it looks like basically it's the 7, slightly under 2-1, and the morning line says 4-1.
All right. And then again, we're going to go look at what the race shape might look like. And so far, none of these horses have really shown an inkling for being the one that wants to pull the cart. So most of these have been pressure horses. The one that had probably the best chance of having some speed advantage, the 2 being out, the one of the class droppers, and some late pace also out. All but the 2 and the 4 had some early similar numbers in terms of early pace and late pace. You got horses moving all over the joint. You got some going up in class, some going down in class, some are flat. None of them really seem to have an outstanding advantage in this race, Charles. So I think this one has the potential to be a little bit on the wide open side. How did you see it?
Yeah, I definitely think it's wide open. I ended up with the 7 as my first choice. Tactical speed, the trainer gets 40%. Second time start after a claim, excuse me. Once again, gets Irad. The horse is probably probably the best one on the field. But the 3 horse, we could argue all day long that
Carlos Tapia says, "Don't sleep on that 3; can't be broken."
Yeah, the 3, you can't sleep on this one. This one ran second the last 3 times. He's 11 for 27 in the money maiden. So this horse has been a bridesmaid forever. So I just don't know if this horse has figured out how to get it all together. But you have to put him in the mix. He's right there all the time. The 5 horse has definitely got a shot here with the drop in class. He does try the all-weather track for the first time, so that's might
a question
be
mark.
Yeah, that's always a question mark. They can love it or hate it.
There's usually not a middle ground either. They either like it or they don't like it.
Yeah, there's no in between. And then the 6 ran second last time out. He got a hot jockey the last 7 days on him, which puts him right in the mix also. So yeah, this is pretty wide open.
Yeah, and interestingly, this is one race that neither one. And usually, I try to put some type of a wager across the board on every race, but I ran out of money, and I don't want the Terry coming down with the rulers across my knuckles once again. I know he knuckled you pretty good over 50 cents. So I don't want I don't want that wrath. I want to put the 7 on the top of my picks here too. Charles Modazzle, cutting back from in distance, ran much better numbers in his sprints than he did in the routes. And trainer Cheryl Weinbaugh won 4 out of 10 races so far this year, second off the claim. Number 6, Capture the Laughter, is my second choice. Looking at that horse, missed by a neck in its last, taking off 7 pounds here today. If you had taken off that 7 pounds last time out, would have been enough for the win. Can't be broken, can't be ignored. Been close in the last 5, and then one of these days, the horse is likely to find that extra length to get the job done. And then finally, number 5, Bobby's Candy, class drop, showed a little bit better late pace last time out and does have all that early speed, probably benefits with the 1 and 2 being out of here. I, like you, did not put a bet in this spot, Charles. So I am just going to move on then to race number 4. Hold on before we go on to race number 4. Gulfstream Park for Cartel. Race 1, he likes the 4, the 9, the 1. In the race 2, the 1, the 4, and the 2. And if, like Melvin and like Carlos and Cartel, you have some thoughts about any picks at Gulfstream or any track today, please share them in the comment section. Any questions for Charles or I, what we look at, handicapping questions, just let us know. Fire away. And, we're here as a community to see if indeed we can find more winners. In race number 4, we go. That one is going to be 1 mile on the turf. They have 2 at 1 mile on the turf today, Charles. This one is a optional claiming for $35,000. The purse is $39,000. Again, real quickly, I'd like to do this one. And I'm going to make a fool out of myself again. All right. So you'll see here, if you're curious, looking at the past performances, if the horse is in for a claim, here you see there's a number. So Major Price is indeed up for sale. As you can see, none of these others are indeed up for sale. At 1 mile on the turf, the profile of a winner tends to favor horses, 50-50. There's really no advantage to being an early speed type or mid-pack or closer type. Although 26, so a pretty good number, do 26% go wire to wire. We do see, again, Gulfstream is very fair to post positions 1 through 7, pretty even. There's a small dip in performance from race post 8 and out. Again, Charles Speed's not that big of a deal here in race number 4, but a couple horses do have a little giddy up and go.
Yeah, they do. There's the 4 horse, which has a 36% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. But, you got that 2 also trying to get that lead at the quarter pole. He's got basically a 28% chance. So they're going to be duking it out probably, or just see who probably breaks the best, probably will have the lead. And then simulation odds, we look at the 1. There's an overlay, is slightly
pretty
over.
Nice one too, from 20 to 1 down to like between 5 and 6 to 1.
Yeah. And then you see the 4 horse, slightly over even money, and you got a morning line of 3 to 1 on that.
Yeah, so it looks like a good price there. Going to be on the lead, going to be competitive. Probably got IRAD on it again.
Probably.
We'll find out in a minute if I remember. All right, race 4, our way to the winner's circle. The 4 and the 6 look like they'll be the ones that are competing out there. There are, again, no true E-types or EP types. So someone here is going to take the lead. It'll be these 2 probably going out to the front. I think it'll be probably a pretty close race from beginning to end. When you look at the stretch run, the 7 does have the most late pace. In fact, he's got a 5-point advantage over everybody else. So if the 7 is close coming out of that turn within a length or so of the leaders, could be very difficult to hold him off. Also has the best combination of early speed and late speed, Charles. So talking up the 7, and he's not in either one of us picks.
No, I couldn't, but I did go with the 2, and the 2. Like
we both went with the 2 and the 4, and up front, the 2 speed horses.
The 2 speed horses. Ran the 2 ran third last time out. It's got tactical speed. I think he could take the lead or sit off of it, just kind of like the simulation shows. You definitely have a hot jockey trainer combo, and that jockey being, of course, IRAD.
Of course. I knew he'd be in here again somewhere.
I knew he was in one of them. And then the 4 horse is my second choice. He won last time out. Another one that has that tactical speed. Doesn't have to have lead, but probably will. Casey gets 18% first after a claim. for a high, claimed trainer like this, I was kind of surprised at that percentage. To be honest with you, a little
You
bit.
thought it would be higher or lower?
I actually thought it'd be a little higher because he's a very
Actually, I
good
think
trainer.
18% is a pretty good number. I
It
have
is. I'm not
I
saying
have
it
a
ain't.
theory called the alpha angles, and well, not a theory. It's just math, really. The average race in America in the United States has almost 8 horses in it. So
Mhm.
each horse, when the gate opens, just from a pure probability standpoint, has a 1 in 12 chance. I mean, 1 in 8 chance to win. So 12.5%. So anything that wins at over 12.5% is excess return, or what I call alpha angle. So I set the number at 15%. So anything that wins at 15% or higher, that's a horse I have to double back and look, and just to see if I don't have it in my picks, what did I miss? So just something to think about. Sorry to
Well, I
interrupt you,
just with
Charles.
just with him being an excellent trainer overall
Mhm.
for all types of horses, I would just thought that number would be a little higher. I was kind of a little
Just
shocked at
holding
that.
him to a higher standard than I am.
Well, there's certain trainers after a while you like they perform so high at everything you expect those numbers all the time.
I
But
know that's how you feel about me and my handicapping.
no, 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 not really. But that's okay. The 5 is my third choice here. Ran second last time out. This is his third start after a layoff. My favorite angle. This horse will be closing. And then my price horse here will be the 3. He won last time out. Hey, Paco stays on this horse. That's a good sign.
Another
So,
jockey that if your horse has got a chance at the end, he's going to
yep,
give it every shot
he
possible to
definitely
win.
will.
Yep.
So there they are.
All right. So for me, as I do my Matthew McConaughey, all right. Number 4, Cloud Storage is my top pick. Maiden win in race number 7. Big jump in that race, which was the first race on the turf. So maybe they found that that's the right surface for Cloud Storage. Well, that big jump also equated to the top last race speed figure. Number 2, Artifact. Last race was better than the finish looked. If you run through the fractions on that horse, it was faster than she ran in her winning effort. Number 3, Mariano got the maiden win in the second career start, and that was at the distance here. So horse should like the surface, the distance, and the going. Finally, number 5, Angela's Party Girl. It's one horse that's been getting better from race to race to race. It has a chance to keep it up in the classic Charles third start after a layoff. I'm back to some my budget. I'm going to put 50-cent trifecta out there. I concur with you, Charles. The 2 and the 4 look like the best 2 in this race. With the 2, 3, 4, with the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. I've been hitting some nice trifectas lately, so I'm going to continue to play the trifecta. That's pretty much what I've played pretty much throughout my entire horse racing career. That in the vertical bets, the pick 3s and the pick 4s. In race number 3, our friend Cartal likes the 6 horse in there. Oh, we don't have that one in. Oh, the 6 horse, that's a race back. And then in race number 4, the 2, big difference between the 2 and the 4 and the 7 for Cartel. Again, if you got some stuff in there that you like, let us know. In race number 5, we're going to tell you what we like for this race that is going to be, if my mouse would work, 1 1/16 mile on the all-weather track for a claiming 8,000 non-winners of 2 in their life. Purse is 22 grand. This long race on the Topeka course favors nothing because it's 50-50 again between early speed and late speed. Although, unlike the shorter race that we talked about earlier today, 18% of the horses go wire to wire here. So get the lead and you got a shot. There is a small rail and 2 and 3 discount. All the post positions from 4 and out play fair, which kind of surprises me that the inside, considering they're going to start there and then turn pretty quickly. I would think that the inside would have a little bit of an advantage. Charles, speed, not the biggest factor, but still could play a role in here because the 5 horse Capture Me could have a nice little lead.
Yeah, like you said, Topeka. Hey, real quick. I mean, when they built this new course, didn't they say that Topeka is going to be used for when it's rainy or off weather? And it seems like more than half of the races all the time are on Topeka, sunshine or not.
I do recall something along those lines, but I think a lot of it, because it's the Stronach Group, right?
Yeah.
And the Stronach Group also owns Santa Anita, if I remember correctly. And
Yes.
a few years ago,
And Golden Gate.
Yeah, but a few years ago, you had that issue out at Santa Anita with all the horses going down, and it was a big thing in the press, if you recall.
Yep.
So the Stronach group went to Santa Anita, and they went through the turf. And I would guess, and just a straight up guess, that they've done their numbers, they've done the research, and that the Pete is probably the safest of the three surfaces at the Gulfstream Park track, and that's why they run most of as many races there as they do. That's just my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that'd be a good guess, but I just don't see it. But I'm just like it's constant, all weather, all weather. But it's supposed to have been built for one thing and it's been used for another, basically. But that's the way it is. That's how they're doing it. So, hey, they got to fill these races and we're going to run them.
Yes, and we have to talk about our simulations.
Yeah, the simulation here on the quarter pole. The leader to the quarter pole is the 5. He's got the 41% chance of getting that lead. But there's plenty of speed in here to keep him at least honest. But you got the 1, the 3, and even the 7 at 10% or higher. So they're all going to try to keep him honest. But that 5's got a good shot of trying to go wire to wire. Simulation odds, you got the 1 slightly overlay. With basically over 3-1, barely, and then morning line is 4-1. The 2 is slightly over 2-1. In simulation odds, the morning line says 5-1. The 5 itself, it's slightly over 9-1. You got the morning line of 10-1, and then the 7, 5-1, and the morning line says 8-1. So you got a lot of horses with some overlays here.
Yeah, the moral of the story, I think, looking at the morning line odds and the simulation odds, is this is a good betting race. And I think by looking at our picks, we have some different thoughts here. So we should be able to get some value in this spot. The way to the winner's circle worksheet for race number 5, I've seen this shape way too many times. Charles, kind of concerns me a little bit. The 6 horse sitting down here all by itself does have that plus early pace. You got a couple of pressure horses in here, the 7 and the 5. They're going to sit right behind that 6 horse. The 7 having the third best late pace, but the best combination of early speed and late speed. And then you're going to have this whole wall of closers coming in that are going to be trying to charge late. This race is going to depend on the early pace. If this trio goes out, they run reasonable fractions, say they go through the opening half in 50 seconds, it could be real hard for this group right here, these 5 to catch up. Based upon your selections, Charles, how do you see them stacking up when they hit the finish line?
Yeah, this is pretty tight, I think. But I like a lot of the closers. The 4 is my top choice of the closers. Ran third last time out. Trainer gets 19% on the all-weather. And, of course, you get IRAD, which actually probably pushed him over to be my number 1 pick because I think it's pretty even on the closers overall. The 1 is my second choice. He drops in class. Trainer gets 27%. When he drops him down 2 levels or more, Tyler stays aboard. That's another great angle. The 3 horse is my third choice here. Ran second last time out. Jockey gets 17% overall. Definitely would be closing. And then the 2 horse is my price horse. Got some of that tactical speed. I think he might be sitting closer than the other 3, but fits well in here. He gets Javier Castellano, another great jockey for this horse. So anyway, I think it's wide open.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I feel like this race can go a whole lot of different ways. I see the 7 getting the win here. Does have that best combination of early speed and late speed. So, it's going to run a complete race. Trainer David Carlos, this is the second race off the claim for him with Krypton, and he wins at 27%. Again, we talked about alpha angles. Normally, Mr. Carlos wins at 18%. So any uptick in his overall winning rate, I see that as a big plus, and maybe one of his specialties. Number 4, Greg's Honor, should be trucking late, the one that you expect to be coming. My concern with those 3 horses out to the left and our way to the winner's circle is the pace might not be fast enough to catch up and catch him by the finish line. Number 5, Capture Me, really should get a trip that this horse likes. stalking at a modest pace, and then using the late legs to go by late. And then number 2, Blutos Candy. It's another one of those horses that's going to be trucking late from that handful of closers. This one's usually close at the end. One of those horses that helps you fill out your gimmicks, but not necessarily top it off. I'm going to go to trifecta again, the 4, 5, 7 with the 4 and the 7 with the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And hopefully they come in the order where it pays the most money. That's always the hope when you do trifectas. Race 6, as we move to the second half of the card. Well, the late pick 4, at least anyway. And I have some thoughts on that. I don't think you have any money left. But again, we go back to 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta, Charles's favorite surface, apparently, claiming 12,500 non-winners of 3 in the lifetime. The purse is 24 grand. As we discussed a little bit earlier, the way to the winner's circle, 5.5 furlongs, does favor early speed with 27% going wire to wire. The post positions really aren't deal makers or deal breakers, so you don't really have to concern yourself much with that. But if you want to concern yourself with early speed, you do have a little bit of money left. I'm going to have to double check your math today. But in any case, looking at that early speed, it looks like that rail horse, Witch of Love, is going to love the chance to get out front here, Bo. But he's going to get some pressure, though.
We should be at the post time of race 1, I think.
Yeah, but it's Gulfstream Park. They're probably just walking up on the track.
They're probably just getting out on the post parade, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still walking around. Okay. Well, for me in this race, we've got to do the simulation odds and stuff. Okay, The 1, it's got a 41% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole, but you got the 3 and the 4. That's going to be pushing that along a little bit. I think the 4 is one of them that might even get the lead at 26%. And then the 1 horse, and when it comes to the odds, is slightly over even money. And morning line says 6-1. And I think that's the 8 horse, 2-1. And the morning line says slightly over 4.5.
Indeed, a little bit of value at the back end there. And you do get a little bit of bump with the 8 horse in terms of post position. For race number 6, we don't have any scratches. We have a pretty balanced out race here. 2 that want to be on the lead, 2 that want to sit off the lead, 1 that wants to pressure, 2 that can pretty much go on the track wherever they want. Then you have an 8 horse back here, which typically wins his races closing. But he's what I call a left arrow horse. His normal giddy up and go when the gates open, going to push this guy towards the front. And not only will he be close to the front, he has the best late pace in the field and some of the best early speed and late speed combination. Indeed, the 1 horse being boxed off is the one you got to look out for when the gates open, most likely leader. So that'd be interesting, I think, a chance for the front or the back to win. Pete Aiello says we have 1 minute, Charles. So in 1 minute, tell us what you got. Your bets.
Okay. Well,
I like your picks.
I like the 4. He won last time out, drops in class today. He was well bet last time out. Trainer gets 33% after a win. So everything points for it to win again. The 8 horse is my second choice here. Ran second last time out, drops in class. Trainer gets 23% when you rest them up 46 plus days, a good angle. And then the 1 horse is my third choice here. Drops in class, has that speed. Paco is on the board, so Paco on speed horse is dangerous. And then the 2 horse is my price horse. He'll be closing today. He's been off for 52 days, but he's got some solid works in him, so he might be fresh enough to be closing good.
Mm-hmm. All right, so race 1, Charles, is about to kick off. So let's take a look at what we have as our selections here. The 4 horse is indeed the favorite, but really not a heavy favorite, only 2-1. So if Charles does come in with that $20 win bet and that single on the 4, should be all right in terms of what his pick 4 potentially could pay. As far as the other favorite, that goes right now to the 2, the 3 horse networking. They're having a little bit of difficulty with the 7 horse getting that one corralled and into the box there, Charles. So I know you had a little bit more thoughts on that, your last pick there. So what were you thinking in race 6?
Yeah, I'm on race 6. Like I said, I got a pick 4 started here. I'm singling the 4. I'm going with my top 2 picks in the next leg. The third leg, I'm going with my top 4 picks. And then the final leg, my top 2 picks. Then I'm going to do also a pick 3. I'm going to single the 4 again, single the 5, and then I'm hitting the all button, hoping for a little price there in that third leg.
Nice. You're using big words like all. So we were
All.
criticized for something. Yes. All right. So it looks like they're all in
Yep.
the gates now. Well, they're sitting on one more. The 4-horse, the favorite.
No, there's 2 more out there.
Is there 2 more out there? Because
I think there is.
yeah, I only see the 4 out there, but there's
Uh,
probably another one out there. No, the 4 is the
no.
last one, I think.
Okay.
So they got him in there. The favorite's ready to go. The gate's full. Just a second before the doors open, the dirt starts, or at least there is one more out there. He was hiding out there. The 9-horse. He's being a little reluctant to load too. After a little bit of coaxing, decides to go in, wants to play today. And now that they're all set, they should be ready to race in just a moment. The 9 is still being, they're trying to get its head straight. And off they go. The gates open, and the 2-horse in here, Ponte Pride, the one that was brought to our attention early on by Carlos, is on the lead there. Ponte Pride at 7-1, going in the opening turn there. On the front, followed behind by the 3-horse. Networking, which is it's kind of actually on the rail. It looks to me like the 4-horse right now. Doc Ballard has pulled up alongside the 2-horse, or at least right behind it. You got a couple of horses trying to really press their luck to the outside. The 9-horse, Domi, is going to go a little bit wide through the turn. Maybe not the best idea. The opening quarter in 24 in 86, so not that fast. The pace is definitely one that they should be able to maintain. So you have the 2 up front right now, Ponte Pride, followed by the 4-horse, Doc Ballard, the 9-horse, Domi, sitting in there in, Mike is making his move towards the front. It's a very tightly packed race from front to back. You probably have 3.5 horses from the front of the nose of the 2 to the tail of the 1 as they come through the opening half in 49 and 26, a pretty modest pace. The 2-horse should be a factor in here, although networking now is starting to get geared up and ready to go. The 8-horse, 2 wide of that. So you have the 4, the 3, and the 8 challenging the 2. Well, the 4, the 4 and the 3 are challenging the 2. Question is, can the 2 hold on? It looks like he's starting to draw off a little bit. You are getting a little bit of interest here down the stretch from the 3-horse, but it looks to me like Ponte Pride, the one that was given to us on the show, is going to be your winner, Charles, and win kind of easily. It's going to go 2 with the 7, 2, 1, and 7. So you and I, we swung and missed on that one.
Yeah, big time.
Indeed, we did indeed. So Carlos getting that one right there. Good shot, Carlos. We appreciate that. Carlos has a couple other in here as well. He likes the 3-horse 2 and Can't Be Broken, I think, and that was like the 3rd race, if I remember, Charles.
Yep.
Well, let's see if we can get back on track here with race number 6 with my picks. The last couple of days I've missed the first race, but been able to come back a little bit later on. Spicy Ginger is that favorite in here. Just 3/4 of a length from winning the last 3 races. 2 for 2, winning at Gulfstream Park. Number 8, Meet the Beauty, is that left arrow horse we spoke about. Top last race speed figure, down in class. A trio of handicapping angles that I like. Number 1, Witch of Love, runs well off the bench freshly, just like today. And also like a February 3rd workout, and then has a nice maintenance workout after that. And finally, number 6, Solaire. This horse has never been off the board in all-weather races, and is, in fact, just a neck away from winning 3 of those 4 races. I'm going to do a pick 4 here with the 4 and the 8, with the 3, 4, 5, and 8, with the 2, 3, the 1, 2, 3, and 7. So I did spend a lot of my budget today. And Terry, I didn't realize how much I had left. I miscalculated again. All right. So, yep, indeed. Nice one. Really nice call, Carlos. We appreciate that. And if, like Carlos, you got some winners in your bag today, please share them with us. We certainly appreciate winners at all prices. Like Terry says, where else can you go and double your money in under a minute and a half? Race number 7 is next on our schedule. It is 5.5 furlongs, again, on the all-weather. Optional claiming $50,000. The purse is $42,000. 5.5 furlongs, just to recap. Early speed, 27%, going wire to wire. Post positions are predominantly fair. If I remember correctly, this is a race where the 1 and 2 scratched again, Charles. Looks like it could be a little bit competitive for the lead early on.
Yeah, definitely. We got the 8-horse, 41% chance of having the lead at the quarter pole. But you also have that four horse that's going to have a say in this. A 24% chance of again having the lead at the quarter pole should be pushing him, and also the three at basically 20% chance. So those three should be out there really winging it pretty good. And then when it comes to simulation odds, it looks like the four horse. We say it's basically slightly over even money. Morning line says 3-1, and then the eight horse itself basically slightly under 6-1, and the morning line says 10.
Yeah, 7-1. That whole trifecta is going to be nice. A good way to get started for the folks who had that trifecta in race one. The two horse Ponte Pride, 7-1 over the one horse Artico, 7-1 over the seven horse 17-1. So there's gonna be some paydays there. So one thing about the Tapeta too is that it does open up, I think, the opportunity for some big paydays too. Our way to the winner's circle for race number 7. We see the 1 and the 2 who are supposed to be engaged in the early duel are not going to be in this race. But all but the 2 and the 7 have some, but the 2 is out. So the 7 is really the only one that might not factor on the lead here, but could sit right off the pace with the most late pace in this group. The 4 horse, the lone pressure horse, of all these guys just really duke it out. 4 horse could really had a really nice trip in here, Charles. When the trip is through, well, what do you see?
I really like the 5 here. This horse won last time out. He's got some tactical speed, more or less. He's going to be sitting like third or fourth all the way around. Maker claimed last time out. This is second start after a layoff. So I think there's a lot of pluses with this horse. The 4 horse, like you just finished saying, it's got some of that tactical speed also. Could even have the lead if he wanted to. Ran second last time out, second time with Lasix. This is third start after a layoff, my favorite angle. So that horse is going to be tough here. And then the 6 horse drops in class today. Trainer gets 20% on the all weather. The horse has a little speed, probably to keep up at least. And Tyler gets on this horse. And then my price horse is the 8, the one that probably out there winging, has the speed to probably steal this race if he wanted to, adds Lasix, and he fits with these type of horses.
In race number 7, for me, I like the 5 horse as well. Charles, best defense. This horse was better across the board in terms of its early, mid, and late pace numbers in the maiden win. First off the claim today for trainer Michael Maker, taking him out of the Kent Sweezy barn. Some good workouts since leaving the Sweezy for Maker barn. Number 4, Rock and Roller, top last race speed figure, moving down in class, should get a nice trip. This one's not in for a price today. Third off a layoff, and its speed numbers have been clicking up from the race to race over the last few. Number 3, Loco Abario. This horse has a pair of seconds in 2 races on the all-weather track. If you can run back just 2 races, it would be enough, I think, to get the win here. And then finally, number 8, no name dude. Best number was winning a non-graded stakes on the all-weather track. Maybe catching that first Lasix today could be enough to get this one home first. I thought I was out of money almost, so I just went with a $1 double, the 4-5 with the 2-3 in race number 7. Next up, Charles, from 7 is race number 8, right? Simple math.
Yep.
Going right there. Which horse has Irad on the favorite? He's a lot on there today. Do you think it's overstated? Well, Irad's always going to draw money, to be honest with you.
Automatically.
Because he gets the good horses. Ray Lou last night talked about, Irad is a really good jockey, but he also gets the best horses. So I would pay attention to the form and the odds. I think if it gets down too low, some factor of that is probably the players. What do you think, Charles?
Oh, yeah, definitely. People just bet Irad to be betting Irad. Like today, we just finished saying he has a lot of live horses. But was it Monday? He only had maybe 3 live horses that I thought were in the top 2, picks all the way around. And then the rest, he had a shot, but he was way over bet, I think, on those, So sometimes, some days he does get the best horses, period.
Yeah, he's definitely on a lot of live mounts today. Maybe I'll put this out there. Let's see, Charles, and we'll revisit it tomorrow. But I would bet I would venture to guess today that if you put $2 to bet on every one of Irad's horses, you might come away with a positive ROI today because every one of those horses appears live. I would probably think about maybe taking a look at some of them that drift up in odds. Race number 8, 7 furlongs, allowance 54 grand. So the marquee race of the day. Purse is 54 grand. It is on the dirt track. No more Tapeta for Charles. First time today, we're going to see this 7 furlong race, which is going all the way to the back of the little chute there. One turn around the Gulfstream track. Set 27%, go wire to wire. Small rail discount for Kiki Love, so maybe a little bit of an issue. 2 through 7 are fair. 8 and out gets a little bit of a bonus. Charles, let's see what the simulator says about this spot.
Okay, when it comes to simulation on the speed to the quarter pole, it looks like that 2 horse, a 61% chance of having the lead at the quarter pole. And then the 3 horse has a 20% chance. So, yeah, I think it's those 2 that are going to be out there winging a little bit. And then when it comes to simulation odds, you got the 3 at 2 to 1. Morning line says 8 to 1. And then the 7 horse down there, slightly over even money. And the morning line says 4.5 to 1.
And maybe some value on some speed there. In race 8, again, we don't have a pure front runner in here, although the 1 horse has shown the ability to go to the lead. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in the pilot co-pilot spot. Despite that, the 2 and the 3 look like they have the most early speed in the race, and they also have the best late pace numbers too. So on paper, this race looks like it should be between the 2 and the 3, albeit a lot of them don't have a lot of races under their belt, so there could be room for improvement or regression from just about any horse in this field, Charles. And I think that is reflected in our picks because we have some agreement, but not necessarily ranking them anywhere near the same order.
Right. I think the 1 will get the lead. Myself, and he won last time out. You got a hot jockey trainer combo at 30% in the last 60 days. I just think, Irad's going to get this horse out in front and just started, whip, keep being when he gets down the lane. I think he's not going to let anyone buy him. I think that's how it's going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 is my second choice. He won last time out, cuts back in distance. Well bet last time out. You got a Maker and Tyler Caffleon combo here. That's a good combo. And then the 7 horse is my third choice. He also won last time out. Trainer gets 27% second time Lasix and blinkers, both. And then you got the 3 as my price horse here. Also won last time out. Has some of that tactical speed that could go to the front or just sit second or third. And Junior stays on this horse. I think he fits this horse perfectly. So I think that makes this horse a little dangerous also.
Yes, indeed. What you call your price play is my first play, Charles. Griven Girl. That horse won easily in his debut. 2 maintenance workout cents. I don't think we've seen the best of Griven Girl. Number 2, the Misses. Ran a big race, winning her debut in the maiden. Maybe the horse will be the 3rd race off the break, being the one that is the winner. Number 7, Guardian Angel, top last race speed figure. And that was in the first race on Lasix. This will be the 2nd race on Lasix. Trainer Ralph Nix hits at 27%. Second time the horse gets the dose of the big L. And then finally, the 1 horse, the favorite, Kiki Love. As we mentioned earlier, many times today, Irad's on a lot of live mounts. This is another one that's a live mount. Last time out at 7 furlongs, the horse ran similar fractions as it did at 6 furlongs. The resume says that the 2nd race off of the bench could be a substantial move forward for Kiki Love. I'm going to do a trifecta again. 2, 3, 7 with the 2, 3 with the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. That brings us to the last race of the day at Gulfstream Park. Hopefully we do better with the last race picks than we did with the first race picks, Charles. Race number 9, the closing show is claiming $50,000, non-winners of 2, lifetime. Purse is 38 grand. Again, they're going to go 1 mile on the grass course. At 1 mile on the grass course, there's no advantage to being fast, medium, or slow when the gates open, but enough win at going wire to wire at 26% that you want to pay attention to that. Really not much of a difference between post positions, although there is a little bit of a dip if you wear an 8 or out. Charles, for the last time today, what do you see from the simulators? What are they telling you?
Well, they're saying the 4 horse is going to have that lead, 59% chance at the quarter pole. But the 3 might have something to say about that, at 26% chance of having that lead also. So I think those two really will be going at each other. The 9 might try to push it, but remember he's on the outside, so that could be suicide. When it comes to simulation odds, we're looking at the 2 horse slightly over one even money. Morning line says 2.5 to 1, and then the 3, no, just slightly under 3 to 1. And look at that, 12 to 1 morning line. And then I think that's it. Oh
Yes.
no, the eight, 13 to 1, and the morning line is 20 to 1.
So maybe some value in the ninth and final race of the day. The final time we're going to take a look at this way to the winner circle worksheet. We got in one of these races where you have 4 that want to be on the front, 2 that want to be in the middle, 3 that want to be in the back. So sort of balanced. I see this race structure. This basically tells me that everybody's going to get a trip that they want. 4 horse of the early speed does look like it is the speed of the speed. The 3 horse also has a little giddy up and go, and also the best early pace, late pace combination in here. If you're looking for a late comer, you want to focus on the 8 or the 2 as they have the most late pace. Charles, according to your thinking, is it going to be a speed horse? Going to be a closer? What's it going to be?
I think one was going to be able to sit like second or third, possibly even fourth, which is the 2. I think the 2's got enough speed to sit with him, but I don't think he has enough speed to take the lead itself. You got Todd and Irad a combo that's hard to beat. Trainer gets 22% at 46 plus days off, so that's a great angle. The 4 horse here is my second choice. Ran second last time out. This is his second start after a layoff. And, this horse has the speed to go wire to wire. And then the 6 horse, it has some of that tactical speed, more like the 2 horse, basically. Ran second last time out. Trainer gets 27% first after a claim, which is an excellent number. And then my price horse is the 7. Drops in class today. Trainer gets 33% first after the claim. And the trainer also gets 14% at 46 plus days off.
Big numbers for indeed right there. Street Vendor, the 2 horse, we agree. Top pick. Irad on another. It's got a good shot to win here today. It's going to be one of those.
On him, by the way.
What's that?
What's the over and under on him? 5
wins? Nah, I think 5 is kind of high. I'll put it like 3. Street Vendor though, but this one's going to be closing late. What was interesting to me is that 4 horse that you have as your second pick, Hey Mac, It's Jack. Irad rode that horse, I think, like 5-6 times in a row and stays on the 2 horse here, which is an interesting call, in my opinion. Number 3, One America, making the 3rd start after a layoff. And what I really like about this horse is it has a bullet workout in between races. So the horse is definitely going to be sharp. But hopefully he didn't leave his performance on the track at the bullet workout. Number 1, Nantasket Beach, top last race speed figure. And if you look at this horse's running, when he runs on dirt, not so good. When he runs on grass, that's where he puts in its best effort. And then finally, number 7, Master of the Senate. This one improved a little bit in each of its 3 races. A little more right here might be enough to get this one to the finish line first. I'm going to do a little bit of a trifecta again. I 4 horse. I read jumping off. I said, you know what? I'm going to jump off too. I did a 1, 2, 3 over to 2, 3 with the 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. I'm probably going to regret not having the 4 in there in my trifecta at the end. But if it does run out of the money, it could be one of the favorites. Could boost the payouts. All right, that takes us through all of the card today. Here are all of our picks. The first race is in the 2 horse, Carlos's pick. One neither Charles or I had. Won that race. The 1 horse did finish second in there. The 7 finished third. Hopefully we can collect our thoughts and get stuff together by race number 2, which is coming up in about 10 minutes or so over at that track there. As it stands now, the 2 horse at 6-5, the 3-1 morning line is now the favorite. 5 horse is at 5-2. So Charles and I looking like we agree with what the folks at the track see. Any final thoughts before we leave and get back here tomorrow to do Gulfstream Park again at the same time?
No, our thoughts and prayers still go out to everyone in Turkey and Ohio.
Mm.
You know, those things are just terrible, and especially Ohio. I mean, they're not even getting any help. It seems like
Well, it's all
it's
coming today now.
of course it's all
Mm.
coming now
Mhm.
after weeks of it. But anyway, those two places, very bad, and let's all hopes and our prayers go out to them.
Indeed, our hopes and prayers go out to everybody who needs to be uplifted today. Charles, certainly we want everybody to have a great day, a positive day, to focus on the good in your life. Forget the bad. Everybody's got good and bad. It's like a rose. You can pay attention to the thorns or you can pay attention to the petals. Pay attention to the flower today, folks. Make it a great day. Another way to perhaps make it a great day is head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Delta Downs a little bit later on tonight will be the free track of the day. You can find a link for that in the description down there below. With your winnings, maybe head on over to Winning Touches, get yourself a nice horse racing gift, or somebody that you love that likes horse racing, get them something they can't find anywhere else. Again, there's a link down in the description below. There's also a link in the description below, Charles, for the picks with the professor and his college basketball plays. Make sure you check that out. Go over to his YouTube channel. When you get in the comment section, be loud. Let him know that you came from horse racing today. Northrow Stake, did they cover?
No, they did not.
Do you have anything today for people?
Nothing today. So, yeah, but no, they did not.
All right. So whether you're not playing college basketball, just chilling in the sun someplace warm, or heading for shelter in most of the United States today, where there's a lot of rain, some blizzards coming in places like Minnesota, a little bit north of me, is supposed to be a pretty good ice storm today. Got to be envious of all the folks down in southern Florida today with the mid 80s at the beach, enjoying life. Well, whether you're enjoying life at the beach, hiding from the snow, Charles, we hope that your day ends up in one place. And of course, that can only be
the winner's circle.
Thank you for joining us on this hump day. Look forward to sharing the day with you again tomorrow for our Gulfstream picks.
All right.